Here we go. All right. I think we're live. Yes, we are. We are live on both of our pages on Instagram and on Facebook. How's it going, everybody? My name is Omar Thabit. For those that may not know, we are in another interview on MotivateMe313. I am with the man, the legend, the myth right here, Richard Reznik. Richie Rich, by the way, thank you so much for doing this interview with us, man. We really do appreciate it, Richie Rich, my man.
It is my pleasure. If I would ever do it for anybody, it'd be my man, Omar Thabit.
There you go.
I've known you that long, 3-4 years. I love you like a brother, my man. I really do.
Exactly, man. You're a brother from another mother, man. It's my man, Richie Rich, man. You're rocking the Detroit Pal shirt. I'm rocking the Hamtramck Panthers shirt. We're both representing our stomping grounds, you know. My man Richie Rich, again, thank you so much for being on this interview. I really do appreciate it. One of the best guys I know for sure. A motivation to a lot of people, so I appreciate you being on this. But I'm not gonna talk too much. I'm gonna let you do a lot of the talking. I'll be doing the questions. I know that you had people wanting to ask questions too, so feel free to comment. And I got Facebook and Instagram right in front of me. You guys can ask any questions you guys like. Because trust me, Richie Rich is going to have some great information for you, especially if you are familiar with Detroit Pal and what Detroit Pal does. So, first and foremost, Richie Rich, can you tell us about yourself?
Sure thing. As Omar mentioned, I mean, most people that are on here probably know who I am, but I'm Richard Reznik. I'm the sports commissioner of the Baseball League at Detroit Pal, as well as I run the Boys and Girls School Basketball League at Detroit Pal as well. I've been doing it now I think Detroit since 2002, but I've been doing it since 1996 at Orchard's Youth Intercity Baseball League. So I came to PAL in 2002. We merged and became Think Detroit PAL in 2006. Took a couple of years off to try a couple other things, and then came back in 2010. And then Detroit PAL became what it is today, Detroit PAL in 2012. Been there ever since. So it was 24 years in the making. And, you know, Detroit Pal is a wonderful organization. It's been around for 50 plus years. And we're going to continue to thrive after this pandemic is over for sure.
I love that positivity. Did you mention what school you went to, Richie Rich?
I did not, but I will now. I'm a graduate of Oak Park High School, class of 87.
All right.
And Michigan State graduate, class of 92. So
I've
been at school now for a long time. I know you're a Spartan.
Yes, that's why I had to mention that, man. You know, the people that follow the Motivate Me 313 are gonna start maybe thinking like there's a trend going on, and that's me interviewing Spartan people so far. But I promise y'all, I got some U of M people coming up too as well.
My wife's U of M graduates. That's fine. There's no more animosity, no more beef. Green and yellow can get along just fine. Green and maize and blue can get along just fine.
You know what? I think we kind of talked about this when we had that dinner that one time. My wife is also a U of M grad as well.
Right.
So we share that similarity too. So, why do you love, I'm going to go ahead and go into the questions. Why do you love working at Detroit Pal, Richie Rich?
Well, for me, it's about how rewarding it is to see kids find their greatness. In fact, Pal has a new motto called the Great Model. It's a great thing that we started off where each letter of grade stands for something. So the G is for goal setting. The R is for resiliency. The E is for I would say enabling, but it's not enabling. It's let me get back to the E in a second because my mind's slipping right now. But the A is for accountability. The T is for teamwork. The E is for embracing healthy lifestyles. So the great model that we use now at PAL, you can go to our website and check it out. It's a fantastic model for the kids, for their parents, for coaches, for really anybody. But it's just rewarding to see, and I've been doing this for so long now that many of the players that I've come across with, some players have gotten drafted into, you know, major leagues. Some players have gone on to the NBA. You know, Josh Jackson is a PAL kid. You know, he played for Kansas and then he got drafted. Darrell Summers at Michigan State. You know, Mark Brown Jr. got drafted by Cleveland back in the day. Kevin Glenn had a wonderful career in the CFL. So to be able to work with these kids day in and day out, and then see them how they've done and made such a positive impact, and not just sports too, education too. A lot of our girls softball kids that we had back in the late 90s, early 2000s are doing fantastic. They have their own businesses, they're doctors, they're lawyers. And to think of that small part in that was very rewarding.
Definitely, man, definitely. And by the way, I just want to let you know, while you were saying that, Michael Porter said Rich is the best, 100% devoted to the youth. We got a Go Blue also from Michael Porter. Just want to throw that out there.
Michael Porter, Michael Porter is my man. He was CEO of Detroit Pal for a little while. Did a fantastic job with the organization. We really got along very well, and he was a wonderful, wonderful asset to that, for sure. No doubt about it. I love the guy.
All right, and then Michael Porter, Detroit is a better place, owning to Rich and Pal, caring about children, mentoring them, teaching them sportsmanship. There you go, Richie Rich. We got people already sharing and mentioning how much what you mean to Detroit Pal, man. So keep it coming, guys. You guys got comments, feel free to ask any kind of questions as well. I got Instagram and Facebook here, and we can keep the interview going as well. So my next question to you, Richie Rich, is what has been the hardest part for you, not being able to work at the office and not being able to work with the public, the coaches, the players, and everybody?
The easy answer is watching the kids play sports, and of course that's the case. But also, I'm an extrovert for the most part, so to not be able to see my coworkers and maybe even more so than that, the relationship that I have with the coaches is second to none. I mean, I know you're my friend now, but you're a coach person. I love my Detroit Pal coaches when they go out there and grind it out every single day for the kids to make them better. I have to do my part to make sure that they're taken care of. So I miss seeing their faces every day. I miss seeing the kids play, no doubt about it. I miss seeing the coaches, and I miss my coworkers. We have a wonderful, wonderful staff at Detroit Pal. In this pandemic right now, what do we do at Detroit Pal? What are we primarily known for? Running youth sports. Well, there's no youth sports going on right now. So that we're making sure that everybody part to make ability and stay strong. We've been around for 50 years. We plan on being around for another 50 plus. But when you have a guy like Robert Jamerson, our CEO, who's working 12, 16 hours a day, making sure that he's doing what he can to make sure that we get funding coming in. Because right now, all the fundraising efforts that we have, not happening right now. We have MVP event not going on right now live. Paul W. Smith golf outing not going on because we can't have that. Rocket Mortgage Classic. I mean, these are events that are big money makers for us to help us with our organization. But right now we can't do those. So Robert's working hard. David Greenwood is our athletic director. He's an amazing addition to Detroit Pal. He's been there for 2 years. It seems like he's been there for 20 years. Our athletic team, people that do the same thing that I do. Kyle Covington, who runs our soccer program, tennis and golf. Ramona Cox, who does softball and volleyball. Annie Deering, who does T-ball, and she's going to be starting to do the Little Kickers program, which is the younger kids for soccer. And our finance team, Lenore Dudley and Natalie and Navdeep, I can go on and on and on. Monica DeJesus is raising money for us. She's done a fantastic job. Maria Franklin is doing all these programs right now to allow kids to be involved on a virtual level. We're still trying to make an impact for Detroit Pal, even though we're not running youth sports right now. And if I recommend highly that you go to our website. We have a campaign right now called 6 Degrees of Separation. And what that is on the 6th, 16th, and 26th of each month. And if you've probably seen my Facebook homepage, you've probably seen it before. But for those that haven't, the 6th, 16th, and 26th of each month, we ask that everybody contact, not text, not email, pick up the phone, call 6 people that they know, make sure they're doing okay during the pandemic, because as you know, there are a lot of people that live by themselves right now, and you really can't see anybody. So who knows? People have died in their homes, and nobody even knew about it. So call 6 people, see how they're doing, ask them to call 6 people, and so on and so forth. And you can reach thousands of people when you get to that point where the 4th or 5th person calls their 6 people, and it just pyramids out. And it's a fantastic campaign. If you want to know more about it, please go to our website.
You got Ramona Cox checking in saying, what's up, way to represent Rick, and thank you so much for sharing that. And by the way, for those that are watching, I just want to let you guys know that Detroit Pal, just from my perspective alone, all the things that they have done for us is amazing. And that's why when Richie Reznik is saying support, they just give back to the community in ways that I have never seen an organization, personally, me speaking for myself, has ever given back to the community. I'm talking about They give out free equipment to teams that need it, okay? They give out free uniforms. They give out field trips. They've taken our baseball team, the Hamtramck Panthers, to field trips. Plenty of field trips, probably over close to 10 field trips throughout the year. When we had a tournament in the summer, 2 summers ago, they had workers from Detroit Pal actually not only donate their buses, but donate their time for a 3-day weekend to Ohio. Drove us there, did not take a penny from us, gas-wise, anything-wise, and looked over us too. We had, police officers at the end of the day with us, living with us. Richie Reznik constantly giving our team baseball tickets for the Detroit Tigers, Lions. We've gone on the field, met some players. I always say, they give the youth memories that they will remember forever, but you also even give the adults memories. Honestly, I had some of my best moments in life just taking the kids to the games and to the field, and even myself as an experience, just walking on Ford Field, walking on Comerica Park, and things like that. So even elite tournaments, taking our kids to different camps, it's amazing. So please, give Detroit Pal, support Detroit Pal, and my man Richie Rich. Thank you so much for everything that you guys do. Officer Paisley, Officer Hearns, everybody over there at Detroit Pal, thank you so much for all that you guys do, man.
Yeah, and before you say anything else, I mentioned a lot of our staff, but if it wasn't for our police officers, who are absolutely amazing, you mentioned Officer Paisley, who is probably the sweetest person I've ever met before next to my wife, Officer Norwood, Officer Richardson, Officer George, Sergeant Kelsey, they're important parts, one of the most important parts of Detroit Pal as being police officers for sure. And, when you're talking about helping Pal out, it is really difficult to raise large sums of money at one time, especially right now. So if you think about all the alumni that Pal has, and we're talking about tens and hundreds of thousands of Pal alumni, if they were to just all donate $10, just imagine how much money that Pal can raise to keep our programs viable for years to come. So if you're a Pal alumni out there, please think about donating any amount, but even $10 will be super helpful to Pal.
Definitely.
In the long run, for sure.
You got Fallon Marie Barrera said, much love, Richard Reznik. Love Detroit Pal. That is my home. It is a lot of home for a lot of us. I can tell you that right now. It's definitely home to a lot of us. So you got people chiming in, Richard Rich. You got people chiming in. What are some programs Detroit Pal is doing while many of the workers are working from home or in quarantine, or the athletes, the coaches? So what are some things that you guys offer?
Right, so I mentioned the 6 degrees of separation. If you need any more information about that, by all means, go to DetroitPal.org. We have another campaign called #PalStaysActive, where we're asking kids to go out and shoot hoops or jog or run. Of course, maintaining social distancing and doing it the right way, but then posting a video. They can give it to me. They can #DetroitPal. Then we'll include that on our website, on Facebook, and on Instagram. It's a good way to get our kids exposed. So also, #PalStaysActive on our website as well. Right now, we have a situation where you can text PAL, to 51555 to get all the resources that you need, factual resources, not stuff that could be, somebody's opinion, facts from CDC, from doctors, what you need to do to stay happy and healthy during this time right now. So text PAL to 51555 for more information. But also, what we're doing right now is trying to figure out what we're going to do to get youth sports rolling again. And the state's going to be opening up pretty soon. We're one of the later states. We're trying to stay as safe as possible. So we're thinking about non-contact sports first. Tennis and golf are sports that we've done at a smaller scale. So those sports will probably be incorporated into first. Baseball's kind of in the middle. Basketball and football probably a little bit of a ways away. Soccer and baseball in the middle. But we've been looking at information from other states as they're opening their states up on how to effectively open up youth sports to make sure that it's safe for everybody. Does that mean having temperature checks for kids and coaches and fans as they walk in the door? Should kids be wearing masks while they play? Maintaining social distance in the dugout, making sure that equipment is far away. One person's equipment is 6 feet away from somebody else's. Getting rid of water jugs in the dugout. Things of that nature to make sure that it's safe, because I think that the majority of people, coaches that I've talked to for sure, they want to get their kids playing baseball again, and the kids for sure want to play. But we're only going to do it if we do it safely. So those are some of the things we've been working on. And in the meantime, you got Kyle. I mentioned Kyle Covington. fantastic worker. He's working on an e-gaming scenario where some kids that maybe aren't interested in baseball or golf and tennis, they can do a Madden tournament, or I'm not really a video game guy, but Madden or PlayStation, to be able to have a tournament with prizes at the end, something to keep them active during this time. So we're all working hard right now to make sure that PAL stays relevant and stays viable for many years to come.
Definitely. And I mean, that kind of leads to my next question, and maybe if you want to touch on stuff a little more, but you kind of did mention a lot of stuff, is like, what is the update on the sports on the coming seasons? And I mean, I know you kind of touched on that, but, you know, are there like dates that you guys have? Like, hey, this is like a deadline for this sport, this is a deadline for this sport, or like, so I know you were talking about this before with you and I, just ourselves, but you mentioned that there's still hope for baseball. So like stuff like that, if you could touch on that.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, a month ago, I couldn't even have fathomed us doing baseball this summer. I feel a little more encouraged right now about the idea of having it maybe later on in late summer or maybe fall ball. But it has to be a situation where it's going to be done safely. I don't want to risk one kid. To me, I'd rather just bypass baseball or all sports until a vaccine is ready, and then, you know, nobody could be harmed from the pandemic. But that's probably not going to happen. So I don't have a date in mind because it's a very fluid situation. But I would like to see baseball start up on a smaller scale. For me personally, it may or may not happen this way. But to me, it would be best to start with older kids because a couple reasons. Number one, they understand the idea of social distancing more than maybe a T-ball age kid or 8U kid does. If you're 14 and up, you understand, I got to stay 6 feet away, things of that nature. And also, too, there's way more fans that come to younger kids' games. Everybody knows with the T-ball game, you got 50, 60 parents there, all, family members. But when an 18U plays baseball, you're lucky if you have 10 people in the stand. Well, that will help with social distancing. And plus, you have the older kids got, middle school and high school coming up and maybe even college. They need to get the reps in for their, the younger kids have a lot of time to do it, but the older kids need to get their reps in for the next level that they're going to be playing in. So my thing is doing it safe, starting with the older kids, maybe have a situation, and again, we're talking about this, I'm just expressing my personal opinion, to start with only independent teams to play baseball. So in PAL, there's 2 ways to come in. You can sign your kid up, we'll place them on a team based on their zip code and find a coach to take over that team. And then you have independent teams that come in. They have their whole team intact already. They have their uniforms already. They have their equipment. They're ready to rock and roll. That might be the way to start off, to try to get a bunch of kids that don't know each other and put them on a team and find a coach may not be the best way to go about doing it, at least right now. And because we'd have to shorten our league anyways, our season and the number of divisions, maybe start with independent teams that are already intact. And we have several of those teams. I'd say over 50% of our teams now are independent. So it's not that we don't want to deal with the kids individually, because that still may happen, but just for ease and safety, that might be the best way to go. But again, the staff and I at Detroit PAL will talk about that and make a decision that's best for everybody involved.
Yeah, and I agree. I love all those ideas that you just mentioned, and I think it's very important. I follow a Michigan Travel Baseball group, and they have a lot of conversations about this too. So I'm definitely going to try to share this video with them so that they have an idea of what a commissioner is saying from a big league in the state of Michigan as well. So while you're waiting and I ask the next question, I was going to say maybe check on your phone because I know you shared it. Maybe people are asking questions even on your own page. If not, we're going to keep it rolling because I know Michael Porter over here, he shared information about Detroit PAL and how you can share the link. And then we can go from there. So my next question to you, Richie Rich, is what gets you, this is the typical MotivateMe313 questions. So the first one is tell us about yourself. And then my next one is what gets you up every morning, man? What gets you up every morning?
That's the easiest question that you're ever going to answer. And for me, it's my wife. She is the most important person to me you're married, you probably know the same, you feel the same about your wife. When I met my wife, I was kind of in a dark time. I had some health issues. My grandmother just passed, my brother got diagnosed with cancer, and my wife was there, and I honestly believe that she saved my life. So I owe her everything. When I met her in 2007 and we got married in 2008, every day is a blessing. Every day I thank God to have met her and that I'm married to her. She is the most important thing, and she is what gets me up in the morning every single day.
That's awesome, man. That's very, very inspiring, man. Like, you just gave me chills to my body, man. I'm sorry to hear that about your family, but that's awesome that your wife was there with you 24/7, man. And yep, and thank you for sharing that with us. And then my last question to you, Richie Rich, is for someone that may be walking in the same or similar footsteps as you, what advice would you give them? And how about advice for coaches, players? Just if you could throw all that in your answer as well.
Well, if you want to be involved in nonprofit youth sport, the first thing is don't expect to get rich.
Yeah.
Nobody that works at Detroit PAL is expected to be a millionaire. It's not going to happen. We do it for the love. I mentioned before about how it's rewarding. There are so many people I know that dread going to work every day. I can't tell you how happy I am when I go to work. That's why this is hard to be at home right now, even though we're doing work. But going to work every day it's fun for me to see the kids play, to see the coaches, to have an impact training class, which is a class that you've been to, several times right now, to talk about our organization, to talk about building character in kids, to teach them about sportsmanship, to teach them that not all umpires against you or referees are against you. And we're going to be incorporating some COVID-19 stuff in our impact classes when we resume them. But you have to do it for the love. You heard the expression for the love of the game. You have to do it for the love of the game because you'll never be rich doing this. We're a nonprofit organization. It's a lot of work too. You have to put in the hours, but you will see the results. And when you see the results, you'll know how rewarding it is. You'll become, and I'm just happy all the time. I have a lot of friends who are like, oh, I got to go to work. Not me. I'm always happy to go to work. And I love what I do, and you have to love what you do. If you don't love what you do, you should find something else to do. So, in terms of coaches, it's really the same concept because most coaches don't get paid at all. I mean, there's some organizations that may provide a small stipend to a coach, but for the most part, you're doing it for the love of the game. And I've learned that there's kind of three types of coaches. There's the kind of coach like you who are doing it for the love of the kid. Well, let me say the first coach is the coach that has a kid and they just want to help the kid, get into a league and I'll help out. They're doing it for their kid and their kid only. That's fine. You are a kind of coach that's doing it for all the kids. If you got a 15-kid roster, every one of those kids are important to you. The kind that kind of don't like that much, we've kind of weeded out some coaches in the past, are the ones that are living vicariously through their kids. When they were a youth, maybe they didn't win the championship, and it's still haunted them after all of these years. So now they're going to take a new group of kids and have a win-at-all-costs attitude and do whatever it takes to win, whether it's using ineligible players or whether it's cheating in some kind of capacity, using overage players. Whatever the case is, we don't want those types of coaches at Detroit PAL. We want the kind of coaches that are going to be doing it for the love of the kids and want to see them become successful from the work that they put into the kids.
That's awesome, man. Awesome, and I appreciate the insight and all the information that you just shared, Richie Rich, man. I really do. Thanks again for doing this interview. Is there any final last words that you want to say before we shut this interview down?
Well, yeah, I just want to tell everybody that we're in a really, really difficult time right now. Nobody's been around long enough to see it. I mean, the last time something like this happened was the Spanish flu in the 1917, 1918, so no one's been alive to see this right now. It affects different people in different ways. Some people are handling it well. If you're an introvert and you don't really like people that much, this is perfect for you. But for somebody like me and a lot of others who like being around people, who like giving hugs to people, I'm kind of like, what's up, Omar? I give you a big bear. That's the kind of person that it's tough for us. But know that it's temporary. It's not going to last forever. It's probably going to happen sooner than you think. And before you know it, we'll be back to normal. We'll be back playing baseball. We'll be back playing football, basketball. All the things that we love to do. We're going to go out to restaurants again. We're going to go to movie theaters again. It might take some time. But in the meantime, call somebody up that that you trust, that can help you out, that can talk you through it. I worry about people's mental health in this day and age. Man, I know a couple people out there, no names of course, who are dealing with some depression. Those are real issues. And know that people are out there that love you, and then you can contact them. You can contact me whenever you want. Anybody out there that's having any issues with depression, with mental issues, for dealing with the virus, I'm here for you. You got my number, text me, call me, email, whatever it takes. I'm here for you. But we will get through this. But in the meantime, just stay safe, stay healthy.
There you guys go. Spoken like a true champion, Richie Rich, man. You are a motivator. You are inspiration.
Richie Rich.
Yeah, you're the man.
Love it.
Yeah, you are the man. Seriously, man, and very strong words. And I'm looking forward, hopefully, to people making sure that they see this video and we can share it on all of our platforms that we both have. And again, thank you so much for doing this interview. It's another interview on MotivateMe313. And thank you guys all for tuning in. Rich Reza, if you want to stay on, I'm going to shut these off and then we can just talk for a little bit afterwards.
Thank you, brother.